I want to talk a little bit about the estate tax because I just happened to be thinking about it today when I was reading an article about the fact that the Republicans, I guess, in the House continue to pass an extension of the Bush tax cuts. But it also includes the estate tax, which right now, the estate tax is 35% on anything over, I think it's $5 million. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's something like that. That's the federal estate tax. And if there's no action, that's going to go up to 55% on anything over $1 million. Anything over $1 million, which in many parts of the country barely buys you a condo. So anything over $1 million taxed at 55%. Now, I live in Connecticut, and one of the reasons I need to move out of Connecticut is because Connecticut also has an estate tax, and it's 12%. Now, if you add 55 plus 12, right, that's 55 is the federal, 12 is the state, that's 67%. That means if I die next year, which of course I'd be upset about that for a number of reasons, but financially, if I were to die, 67% of my estate would go to the government. 2/3 of it. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, is this a free country? The government gets 2/3 of what you earned? And remember, they taxed me on everything I earned before I was able to save it. And think about where the taxes are going to go. If the Bush tax cuts expire, the top federal rate goes back up to 39. But it doesn't end there because it's also another 2.9% Medicare. And then when you throw in the new Obamacare tax, that's about 0.9%. You're talking about just about a 43% federal tax bracket. When you throw in the 7% for the state of Connecticut, I'm paying 50% of what I earn. So if I earn $1, I got 50 cents left over. Then if I die, the government takes 37 cents out of that 50 out of my estate, leaving me with 13 cents. So I earn $1 and my estate ends up with 13 cents. That's 87% going to the state, going to the government. I mean, this is freedom. I mean, would any medieval tyrant have taken so much money away from, his citizens? No, I mean, come on. 87%? I mean, how much different would it be if the U.S. government went communist and just nationalized and took everything? I mean, all right, so they leave me with 13% as opposed to taking 100%? But, it's actually worse than that. If I were to die, the biggest assets I have are my businesses. Euro Pacific Capital, Euro Pacific Asset Management, Euro Pacific Precious Metals, my position of, Euro Pacific Canada, Euro Pacific Bank. These are illiquid businesses that would have a valuation. But my estate would have to liquidate them in order to raise the money necessary to pay the tax. And I'm assuming if we have to liquidate the businesses quickly to satisfy my estate tax, that they're going to sell them for a lot less than they're actually worth just to get the cash. So who knows? I mean, when you factor in that, the government probably takes far more than 90% of what I earn. Maybe they get 95%. I mean, so basically, what's the incentive? Don't leave anything, right? Spend all your money. Don't save, don't leave an estate, which means liquidate your business, right? Fire all your employees, start from scratch, destroy all the capital that you've worked a lifetime to accumulate. Who are the biggest losers? I mean, what kind of insane country would do that? Destroy businesses, capital, all incentives to grow, create, expand, hire, because you want to take everything for the state. And why? Because people are envious, they're jealous that somebody might inherit something. Think about it this way. Yes, somebody gets lucky because their parents leave them money. But think about it from the perspective of the parent. If you work hard and you earn your money, don't you have a right to decide what you want to do with it? If you're not going to spend it yourself, if you rather leave it for your children, isn't that your right? Why should the government come in and seize almost all of it because they want to level the playing field because they think it's not fair? In the meantime, if they destroy businesses, if they destroy capital, everybody loses. And a lot of times if a business is going to be passed down from generation to generation, it's not just the asset, it's the skill set. Parents are able to bring their children into their businesses. They grow up in the businesses. A lot of times they start in the proverbial mailroom. They work their way up. They actually know the business. They learn from the person who started it or from the person who inherited it from his parents. So, I mean, that is a great asset in a society to be able to pass down skills and capital from generation to generation. Everybody benefits. But when you get this idea that it's not fair and that we need to have these huge taxes because otherwise somebody might inherit some money and it wouldn't be fair to the person who doesn't inherit it, you end up destroying all of that. And society is the big loser. And ultimately, it's not even just the business owner or his children. Because, look, if you're the heir to a big estate, even after the government takes 67% of it, you still probably have enough to blow if you want to be a playboy. But if you want to just run your business and continue to grow and expand and benefit society with more products, more services, and create more jobs, that's what comes to an end. The government stops all that progress. They stop all the wealth creation and job creation. Instead, just leave somebody with some money to blow. But this is also what's at stake if we don't extend these tax cuts. But of course, what we really need to do, apart from just extending the tax cuts, is we need to start increasing the spending cuts. Because if we don't cut spending, hey, the tax cuts are an illusion unless you're smart enough to get your money out of dollars into gold or into some other foreign asset, because what we don't pay in taxes, we're going to pay in spades in inflation. Now, of course, we could just pay it in future taxes, but I don't think we're ever going to do that. I don't think the government is going to tax us to repay the debt. I think they're just going to repudiate the debt by printing a bunch of money. But either way, the cost will be paid, and paid big time by average Americans.